what's up, Solar family? How are you? Hopefully you're doing amazing. It's James here. I just want to chime in really quickly. I'm actually creating some content and something popped to mind. I was like, maybe this is something good to share with you guys. And what I want to go over is the path to least resistance for you to close deals, right? Because if you have a really roundabout way to explain things, then more than likely you're not going to be closing as many deals as you can, right? That you normally would. So what I always tell my students is simplicity, simple. And that's your path, right? And I'm going to make this super quick because I'm running out of battery. Simple equals sales. So if this line represents your sales methodology, your sales presentation, it's going to equal sales all day long. But if your presentation is confusing, right? Because confusion, if your sales methodology looks like this, it's going to lead to brokenness. That's going to lead you to not having much money in your bank account. So my suggestion to you is keep your sales presentation as simple as possible. If my first grader, which is, he's like 6 now. Yeah, I think he's 6. I got 8 kids. It's hard to keep up. He's 6 years old. If your presentation, my 6-year-old can resonate and make a decision after your presentation, then you're going to close a whole lot more deals. You don't have to be so analytical. If your brain is analytical, that's fine. That's you, right? But what happens is when you have an analytical brain and you start going over like the material of the solar panels, the gauge of the wires, how the inverter works, right? The owner asks you, how does the inverter work? You're like, well, it goes through these microscopic particles from the sun, and it goes through these 12 gauge wires and goes through what is this system, which is basically the inverter, and it goes through the flex capacitor. And sorry, that's just my voice, my impersonation of a smart dude, which I'm not so smart, so that's why I keep it simple, right? So if your presentation or your explanation of how an inverter works, if it sounds like that, scratch that out, right? You may be amazing at presenting to like an engineer or something, or a homeowner that's more analytical, but for the most part, and I totally apologize, I know this is maybe backwards in your end, hopefully not, but maybe is. But for the most part, not everyone's engineers, right? So keep it simple, and I'm gonna give you guys a few tips on how to keep it simple, right? And how to build connection as well, because connection is the key to closing the deal, right? Not only are you keeping it simple, but before you can even present the information, before you even use your sales methodologies and strategies on the homeowner, you have to build rapport. And I know that's something that's been beaten like a dead horse, but let me share a tip with you that you may haven't heard of, right? Or maybe you're not using. Maybe you heard of, you haven't been using it. And I gotta make it super quick. So I'm gonna talk super fast. Building rapport, right? So I was sitting in on a sales call with one of my students last week as a Zoom, and he kept calling the homeowner by their last name or his last name, which was, say for example, Mr. Smith. And let's just say the homeowner's name is Michael Smith. He kept on saying, hey, Mr. Smith, hey, Mr. Smith that, hey, Mr. Smith this, hey, Mr. Smith, that was great. So what happens is that's just way too formal, right? So my suggestion to you is call the homeowner by their first name. So for example, this homeowner his name was Michael. So to build a better connection with your homeowner, start calling them Michael. Start calling them by their first name instead of using your last name, because it gets too formal. Hey, Mr. Ramos, right? It's too formal. So let me give you an example. I visit Arizona, a few times out of the year, and I go to this one Starbucks like every time. Like I visit here. This one barista
knows my name, and I only go here maybe like once or twice a month, like consecutively, like, you know, throughout the year. And he remembers my name, and I'm out of town for like, you know, the following 8 months after that. But every time I walk into the Starbucks, he says, "Hey, what's up, James? Nice to see you again, man." And a connection is built, right? Because there's a connection, because at the end of the day, he's selling Starbucks. Obviously, I'm gonna buy Starbucks regardless. You don't have to sell me into Starbucks, but it's just the point that if you build that connection with your homeowner because you're calling them by their first name, you're gonna be able to increase your sales conversion, because there's not one sales bullet you're gonna use to like, boom, knock them out of the park and they're signing, right? It's a combination of strategies, rapport building, psychology. There's a bunch of things that you have to put in a pot to close the deal, right? And simplicity is one of them, and rapport building is one of them. If you're not using, you know, that strategy to build rapport, use it, right? Another thing is discovery. I can't stress this enough. If you're asking the right questions, if you're asking the homeowner, you know, what's the main reason why you want to move forward with solar, they're going to tell you exactly what they want. They're going to tell you their pain. Identify the pain. Because once you can identify the pain, and once you have a solution to that pain, you're going to close deals all day long. It's going to be simple, and simple equals sales, right? It's going to be simple for you. But as sales guys, sometimes we put too much fluff into it. We add things where we shouldn't add. Or unfortunately, sometimes we're learning from like mentors, right? This can be, you know, a coach. It doesn't necessarily have to. It could be like your sales manager. It could be your colleague. Sometimes you're learning from them and you're emulating them. And you know what happens? It's a mirror effect. So whatever results they're getting, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's amazing, whether it's great, you're gonna get the exact same result. So it's really important to learn from someone way above and beyond that, you know, your strategies, and learn from people that have the things, have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish. Because I always tell my students, a blind cannot lead a blind to the promised land. It's just impossible. So learn from colleagues, learn from mentors like myself that has taken the sales and marketing strategies to the next level and can teach you ways to keep it super simple so you can generate more sales, more money, so you can do the things that you love doing with the people you love doing it with, right? So again, build rapport, try a different methodology. You know, if you're currently calling the homeowner by the last name, use their first name, right? Scratch that out. Identify the problem, discover what their pain is, and from there, prescribe them the medication, right? Just like, you know, I want to tell you a quick story. A few years back, I had a headache, right? And, you know, I'm a big baby, right? Tell my wife, "Hey, babe, I'm dying," right? And she takes me to the ER, and the doctor comes in and asks me a series of questions. Hey, how long have you been experiencing the pain? Where is the pain? Is it radiating down to your neck? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most painfulest pain you ever had, where is that in that scale? So the doctor didn't just come in and just say, here's a prescription for your leg, here's a prescription for your back pain, and just kind of guessing whether or not he actually, you know, prescribed the right medication for the symptom, for the pain that I have. Their method is asking questions, so they can be more specific. They can give you the right treatment. As a solar sales professional, right? As a solar sales expert, you need to do the same exact thing. You need to be the doctor and say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, what are the things you're looking for? What are the non-negotiables, right? If you're asking the right questions, they're gonna tell you. And if you can solve those pain points that a homeowner has and you can build a connection, your sales is gonna drastically increase. So if you want to learn more strategies just like this one, you want to dive in deeper, obviously my phone's about to run out of battery and I want to finish up this video, make sure you schedule a solar strategy call. It's absolutely free. I dive in deep with you and find out what you're currently doing and see how we can tweak it to help you and make your presentation or even make your marketing even better. There's a link somewhere on this video. Before you bounce out of here, if you're watching me on Facebook, say what's up, say hello, what's up, Joe? If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button so you get all of my updated videos as it comes out. Other than that, again, simple equals sales, confusion equals broke. Peace.